Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob Ent podcast. We got a jam-packed one for y'all. We touching on AFC South, AFC West to finish off the predictions for that. We're gonna touch on the Giants schedule. We're gonna touch a little bit on college football, all-time running back draft. Y'all like the draft that we did last time. Y'all had Chris and Miles as the best teams. We'll see what y'all think after this one for the running backs. And of course, we're going to touch on some of the stuff that's happened outside of football, outside of basketball. Is the NBA, are they world champs? Plenty of more stuff to come on. Make sure y'all subscribe, share this with somebody. Fellas, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Happy to be back. Ready to talk some sports.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good too.
What you eating over there?
I just dominated Chris again.
Pause. Big pause.
Chris tried to say something that he was like, ah.
Hey, yo. AFC South, starting off with that. For those that's watching, we're going to break it down real simple. Who wins the division and ask some questions about the division specifically. For y'all let me know, who do y'all see winning the division? And this specific case, I'm pretty sure everybody will say the Chiefs. The better question would be who comes in second place? I said the Chiefs. I mean Jaguars. Who comes in second place in the AFC South?
Titans, probably. I mean, the other two, you look at Houston, they're probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league. And then, I mean, the Colts, their best players out for the first 4 games. So, and you got a rookie quarterback starting. So things aren't looking too good this year, at least, for them. And the Titans, they're running it back with pretty much everybody with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. So that would be my pick for the second spot.
Yeah, I think that's fair. When you look at the Texans and the Colts, obviously, they're both kind of in a rebuild mode, right? And who knows what's going to happen with the Colts with Jonathan Taylor out right now, not reporting and holding out. But to give the Texans fairness in the situation, when you look at their roster, they've kind of done a complete overhaul these past 2-3 years, even from the coaching standpoint with a new head coach and DeMeco Ryans in there this year. So they're not going to be any good. We'll hopefully see some good things out of CJ Stroud to let us know that he's going to be the quarterback, long term there. But they're going to be in a situation where it's just going to take CJ Stroud a while to get going and for him to be comfortable in that offense and for the defense to really be a force. Because again, they're just not going to be any good playing against the Jaguars, the Titans, teams that have been well established for quite some time now.
Greg, who do you think has the better season, CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson?
I'm gonna go with CJ Stroud on this one. I just think he's a better pure pocket passer than Richardson. I think Richardson would be good if they, will be good if they, bake in the run game and they get him on the move and they kind of factor that part of his game into it. But I think CJ Stroud's a better natural passer. He has guys. I mean, the wide receiving core. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know who he's throwing the ball to. Besides that guy Tank Dell. Besides Tank Dell, I'm not even sure who he's throwing the ball to over there. They got rid of Brandon Cooks, so I don't know that wide receiver room might as well be cooked. I'm not sure who else he's throwing the ball to over there, but I think that he's a good enough thrower of the football. If the offensive line gives him time, he'll have some highs, he'll have some lows, but he'll be pretty good. Richardson is more about them baking in the run game and making sure they get him on the move and get high percentage throws in there for him early and often. And if they can do that, then yeah, he's got a chance to be good too. It's a toss up. I don't think it's like a landslide one way or the other.
He's got some good weapons over there on the Texans. I'm not sure who's injured and who's not, but John Mechie, the third, is cleared to play after going through that cancer scare last year. Robert Woods, I think he's coming off an injury, but he's over there now. And they also have dude from the Cowboys, Noah Brown, who kind of blew up a little bit last year in certain games, right? So man, actually, he looked like a superstar in some. That's going too far. That's going too far. He didn't look like no superstar, but he looked like a star at times with the Cowboys. So CJ Stroud is definitely gonna have some weapons to work with if all those guys are healthy.
And they got the Cowboys tight end, Dalton Schultz. So
it did get short. You're right.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, he gonna have a nice little, comfort piece right there where you always, especially the rookie quarterbacks, always rely on that tight end.
Yeah.
You rely on him, and he was pretty. That's a pretty big loss for the Cowboys. We already talked about them booty jokers. Texans, they'll actually, appreciate and value him in this division, AFC South, right? You were saying something, Greg?
I'll say forgive me for not caring about the Texans again. I'm sorry. I'm apologize for that. Did they hire D'Amico Ryan? Is that who they hired?
Yeah.
So are they gonna do that thing where they hire the black coach so he can get
he's here to stay.
downs? No.
2 or 3 years. All right.
Huh?
He's gonna stay. The other 2 guys.
You know what I'm about to say? You know what I'm about to say?
Yeah, I know what you were
They
saying.
hire the black coach while they're bad, and then when they get good, they hire the white coach, and then the white coach gets all the credit for it. Is that what they're gonna do in Houston? Because that's the real question. I don't really care about the football part. There ain't nobody watching them. If you got league pass or a Sunday ticket, you're not turning on a Houston ticket Texans game unless your team's playing them. So that's the real question. They're gonna do D'Amico dirty? That's the real question over there.
I don't think so. I think because he's kind of like homegrown, been with the organization, know them. The contract that they gave him, I can't see them doing that to D'Amico. That's me personally.
Okay.
I think they've done enough black people wrong enough, so they might be turning over a new leaf.
Well, they can't have inmates running the asylum, so we'll see what happens. That's what he said, right? So we'll see.
In this division, y'all could tell me the main people. Y'all could tell me some sleeper picks. Who do y'all see as some people that, for our fantasy watchers that they should look to draft from one of these 4 teams or a couple of teams?
I mean, the obvious ones would be whatever you got from the Jaguars. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he's going to be good because you're adding Calvin Ridley to the fold with this team. You got ETN, who's going to ball out this year, I think. I think he's going to do even better than he did last year. And then if you want some sleepers,
You got to throw Christian Kirk on there.
yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to take a hit, and he's definitely like 2A now because I think Zay Jones is another piece in that receiving core that, I mean, he's reliable. Like, he's shown that everywhere he's gone. If you throw it to him, he's going to, make plays. And, yeah, Christian Kirk is good, but, I mean, he's not anywhere close to what Ridley is. So he's getting knocked down a peg there. And then, I mean, Anthony Richardson, like, I think the numbers might not be pretty, but, like, in fantasy, we're not looking at the percentages. We're looking at, like, the running, the touchdowns, and he's a legit threat to get, like, 1,000 yards rushing this year, I think. I mean, I feel like they're going to use him like Justin Fields last year, where they do simple passing, like on the move and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree with all those. I think if we're talking about the Texans, obviously John Mechie, gonna have a lot to prove. Coming off that health scare like we just talked about last year. I think for the Colts, this was a wide receiver that played on the Bills. That's now with the Colts. Man, what's his name? Isaiah McKenzie. Right, he played behind Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs, but he was reliable a ton, and he played in the slot. So I think, who knows, Anthony Richardson could find him as a valuable target there, but we'll see how much playing time he gets. But
he just got cut today.
Oh way! Breaking news.
It's not funny, because I don't want to see him get cut, but like he just got cut by the Colts today. So,
but that's shocking because who do the Colts have at wide receiver? In front of him, they have Michael Pittman Jr. They got they had Isaiah McKenzie. They got Alec Pierce, the kid from Cincinnati, right? Unless he got cut. He was a good addition for them last year, so I can't see that happening. But who else? It don't even matter, I guess. But that is
Pittman's the guy.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman's the guy. He's the guy gonna be throwing it to.
Yeah, it's not that many. Looking at the roster, you got Amari Rodgers, DJ Montgomery. I'm not sure what happened for McKenzie to get cut, but
all right, update. He got cut. It was probably the roster gymnastics to put people on IR, but they brought him back.
Okay.
Oh, So you over here, so you are pro-Trump. Fake news.
Fake news.
Yeah. But yeah.
Before we go to the next division, do y'all see Derrick Henry having a bounce back normal type of year in fantasy?
Did he have a bad year last year?
Not really. He played all 16 games, had 1,300 yards and about 13 touchdowns rushing, but he had a slow start.
That's damn good.
That's stupid.
I mean, I feel like that was mainly to do with there were no like real threats that you're worried about on the receiving corps. Like you traded AJ Brown, you drafted Treylon Burks, and I mean he could be good, he could be bad. I don't know. It's still out for him. But now you have D Hop. So that's a whole nother dimension that teams have to worry about. So I think that's gonna open up the power running game for them. And yeah, I mean, I think they got a couple young backs behind him to kind of take the tread off his tires this year, but he's the guy still.
Yeah, I'll give you the stats. 1,500 yards rushing. This was the second most rushing attempts he had last year was 349, but he also piled up 13 touchdowns rushing with an average of 4.4 per carry. AFC West, who do y'all see winning this division? I don't know if y'all want to all say the Chiefs. I've seen some different picks of for what I've been reading on the reports from the professionals.
I'm thinking
It'd be irresponsible not to say the Chiefs until someone proves otherwise. You know what I mean? The Chiefs have ran that division for the past several years, and all indications based on last year look like they have no signs of slowing down. I mean, the talk last year was like, hey, they lost Tyreek Hill and some other pieces. Are they going to be able to replicate what they did the year prior? And Patrick Mahomes showed us that he can certainly do so, and make adjustments. And I think, look, they have some issues in terms of Chris Jones holding out. Right, they're not the same team, obviously, from a defensive standpoint, and then they lost their best offensive lineman to the Bengals with Orlando Brown Jr. Protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side. So, but I think those are two things that they'll be able to overcome. I really do. I don't think that this is a team that is new to dealing with obstacles. You got Andy Reid, who's been in the game a long time and knows how to adjust, and I think Patrick Mahomes will follow suit too. So. I think the best team to be a threat to them is the Chargers. Just given Jay Herbo and how talented he is and how his career is progressing, but I still think it's the Chiefs division.
Who will have the more explosive offense, the Chargers or the Chiefs?
Chargers, I think. I mean, that team is really built on Herbert's arm, and you're adding more weapons. You add a receiver in Quentin Johnson in the draft. You still got Keenan Allen. You bring over Kellen Moore, who, I mean, if we look back a couple years, Dak threw for over 5,000 yards in this offense, and he was. I mean, it was because the defense was bad, but I mean, Kellen Moore had a big helping hand in activating Dak there. So we'll see how the Cowboys look this year, but I think Justin Herbert's gonna elevate his game. So for fantasy purposes, he could end up being the number one quarterback out there just because the record for passing yards is definitely in sight. 35 touchdowns could be a lock as long as he stays healthy. So
it can happen. It certainly can happen. And another piece I forgot about too, that he wasn't a major star for the Chiefs, but he was a big chunk of their offense was Juju Smith, and he's gone too now to the New England Patriots. So, look, if the Chargers play their cards right and execute well, it can certainly happen because I think they still got Mike Williams too, right, Miles?
yeah.
Yeah. So they definitely got a lot of talent. Eckler, signed that 1-year contract, so he's good to go. Their offense, trust me, won't be the link of their team.
Yeah, I can see definitely Chargers will be a top 3 offense this year, and I think they'll definitely finish before Kansas City. Kansas City, they're going to get it done because Pat Mahomes is just that special, but the weapons that they have, and like you said, Eckler coming back, who's a dual threat, who literally might get 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing, Yeah. And all those wide receivers, most definitely. I think one of the bigger questions too within this division, especially, I know Miles, had to shut stuff down too. With Sean Payton there talking cash crazy and the last coach here was terrible and this, that, and the third. Do they make the playoffs with Sean Payton? And what do we see from Russell Wilson? Let's ride 2.0.
They're gonna be better, bro.
He could be benched, honestly. I don't know how much better this thing
Bench who?
for somebody.
Who? Spencer James?
For
Who's
Spencer.
there?
Not with the money they're paying him. They're not benching him.
No, they're not going to bench
benching
him.
him.
They're not going to bench him. But I don't think he's going to be that much better than last year. I think we're kind of seeing the downturn. And you're missing Judy for a good portion of the first half.
You're always missing Judy. He's always hurt. He's always hurt. He lives in the IR.
I recall you wanted the Giants to trade for him, no?
Those were more desperate times. I think we're in a better place now.
He was more thinking about like Sierra and all that.
He said, yo, Miles, what was the main issue with the Broncos? I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't watched them a ton last year. They just looked completely incompetent. But what was their main issue with it? Was it the coaching?
Yes.
Yeah, it came down to coaching. The offensive line was, not sturdy. Russ was holding it. It was a different offense than what he's used to in, Seattle. It was a little more relying on the run, roll out. And that was the thing. That offense wasn't built for him. Remember, that was supposed to be Aaron Rodgers coming over. That wasn't supposed to be him.
Fair. Yo, you're not going to talk about the fact that Russell Wilson was fat behind where he couldn't run around?
Yeah, he was a little hefty.
All the magic was in he had Aunt Jemima arms all season last year, so he couldn't run around the way he needed to run around. That's the reality of it. The magic that he does is all rooted in the fact that he can run around and extend plays, throw off rhythm passes, just exploit the defense because he can extend the play for so long. You can't do that when you weigh 250. You can't do that. So you lost weight, and here we are now. Sierra,
I heard he's good friends with James Harden though, so maybe that could play into it.
That makes sense. I see the influence. That makes sense. So if now that he's lost weight, I think he will be better. I think he'll be better by default. That's what I'm saying. I think they'll be a better team. They're going to have a more competent offense. The offensive line didn't look great when he was out there. He was getting killed. So we'll see if that doesn't do him in. But if they can hold up a little bit, they'll be a better team. Will they win the division? No. Will they compete for a wild card spot? I think so. The defense was really good last year.
Hey, Tone, before we move on real quick, I got a quick question. I heard something on ESPN radio. They were talking about the Chiefs and how good they obviously are with Patrick Mahomes, right? But they were also talking about the fact that, if Mahomes gets injured to a point where he's out majority of the season and can't come back, or if it's towards the end of the season and he gets injured, prior to the playoffs and they need someone to step in, obviously they don't think that whoever I think the backup quarterback is, I think it's Henny, can get it done to the point where they're winning a Super Bowl, right? So it got me thinking, who has the best, out of the top teams in the NFL that we peg to go to the Super Bowl, who has the best backup quarterback that can kind of keep them alive and give them a chance if a star goes down?
That's a great question. And by the way, it's Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert is the backup for the Chiefs.
I think they were also looking into, Carson Wentz too, which that
He
would be
was.
a great option.
That's just a great idea. That'll go great for them. I'm sure he'll come in.
QB2? He was Mahomes before Mahomes.
That's a great. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's the weekend. Okay, listen.
Yo, if he doesn't get hurt, look what he was doing that year.
Yo, he sucks. Yo, listen.
He would have won MVP that year. Things would be a lot different in the landscape.
Yeah, he was good then. He's bad now. He's awful. And
he's bad now. But
everywhere
are we talking about a starter or are we talking about a backup?
Yo, everywhere he goes, no one likes him. That's also the reality. Everywhere he goes, his teammates don't like him. That's a big indictment when you're a quarterback. Your quarterback, they're supposed to love you. It's like with Dak. You're a cornerback, your top cornerback should not be telling you shut your ass up. He shouldn't be telling you that in the middle of a play. He shouldn't be doing that. So when that's happening, that's a real problem. It's the same thing. Also, the two teams, to answer Chris's question, Eagles with Marcus Mariota and the 49ers with Darnold. Those are two teams out of the best teams. Those are the two teams with the best backup quarterback situation. I answered your question flatly. It's a fact. I'm just telling you what it is.
Marcus
Mariota,
Mariota.
Mariota can go in there. Yo, with that offensive line, you ain't even got to be that good. You just got to go out there and not screw it up. Just hand the ball off, run some read option, throw it to AJ Brown. He's always open. That's it. He's a big body. You're going to get in the way. It's fine. You go box somebody out. Yo.
You're not going to say, Tyler Huntley, the Pro Bowl quarterback from last year for the Ravens?
Stop. That's a joke. I don't know why they gave us. Hold on. Yeah, I can't say what I wanted.
Who was the second team you said other than the Eagles?
49ers with Darnold. Another great backup. Great backup. Those are two teams with the best backup situations. Out of all the best teams in the league, those are the two best backup situations. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. I might be.
Status quo and have it rolling how they were rolling, right?
Darnold might come in and outplay Purdy at some point. That's what Purdy's a 7th-round pick. We ain't talking about Joe Montana. So there we go.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I was just curious to hear what y'all thought because it stumped me.
I said Marcus Mariota and Miles thought I was crazy. I don't know. It's the Jets with who's
Zach quitter.
Wilson.
He's a quitter. You saw that Netflix show?
He is a quitter. I don't disagree.
Have some issues with why he was running all the damn time.
He can run over there all he wants.
I'm just saying. So some of
the truth is Trey Lance. That's what it is.
That's the truth. Trey Lance. Okay. Yo, please, come out here and play the Giants, Trey Lance. Come out week 1. Let's see if he has to come in the game. Let's see how that goes for him. I'm excited about it.
Might be the Bengals. Because Will Greer about to take that QB2 spot. We just claimed him on waivers today.
Yo, move on, yo.
What did he do the other day? Throw for over 350 yards.
Against you were playing in that game. You were out there playing corner.
Stop it.
I know. I see the crutches behind you. You limped off the field a little bit towards the end.
Hey, y'all brought it up. I was saving it for the Kappa Fact section, later, the segment right there. But y'all brought up Trey Lance. Are the days numbered for Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy? Because Jerry Jones came out, and it's all reports. Mike McCarthy ain't know nothing about it. Dak Prescott didn't know nothing about it. And Trey Lance is in the building. Are the days numbered for these two jokers?
Jerry moves with the wind. He can do anything he wants at any given time. He does not care about people who work underneath him. He does whatever he wants. And if Dak doesn't win him a Super Bowl this year, yeah, I think you could see the end of Dak over there. They may resign him and look to trade him like a good organization would because he's still a good player. He's not bad. He's not a Super Bowl quarterback, which is what I've always thought about Dak Prescott. I've always felt that way. Even when at his best, I always felt like there was just something missing. I think look, the criticism on Dak that's fair is in the biggest games, he does not show up. The numbers bear it out. When he plays against the best teams, period, around the league, he does not show up. So, yeah, he could easily be out of there. But if Trey Lance is your answer, well, you're going to be in the same perpetual mess. That's the thing that's fun about them. They don't fix anything over there. They're not going to. What are you solving with Trey Lance? Well, how is he getting you better?
What if that's not to solve anything? What if he's just a stopgap to the next quarterback?
Okay, fine.
It's the only way they can move on from Dak and paying him all that money.
Are you going to be bad enough to get a good quarterback in there anytime soon? Because that's how this thing works. Good quarterbacks don't hit the market. It just doesn't happen. I'm sorry. So Dak will hit the market. Let's say they move on from Dak. That'll be the best quarterback to get traded in a very long time. Besides, of course, Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers literally forced his way out of there, and the Packers were over his nonsense. So that's a different situation. It doesn't even count almost. That's the situation. If Trey Lance is your stopgap, he'll be your stopgap for the next 3-4 years. You're going to be with him for a while. So I just hope they're ready for that. That's all I'm saying.
Let's get Trey Lance QB3 right now. He's not even QB2. They got
Cooper Rush. Oh yeah, he's great too. He's not winning them a Super Bowl. No way either. So you know what I mean? There was a hype because he beat up on the Giants last year. He had a good little game.
Good little game. He was like what 5-0, 6-0.
He did do a little. They got a great online, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I said Marcus Mariota is one of the best backups in the league because when you go to the Eagles, about situation and scheme over there, you don't have to do nothing crazy. They didn't ask much out of Cooper Rush, bro.
But that's the thing.
I watched preseason.
That's the thing. I do not want us to ignore with that whole run that he had. Cooper Rush been in that offense for about 3-4 years.
That's true.
So he's had a bunch of time to really, really digest and get that offense down. That's I think was a really outside of the O line, that was a huge factor in his success, which is why some people feel Jordan Love should have a big year because you've been in that offense for how long? You should know that offense like the back of your hand.
That's true, but they don't. Teams don't have film on you. So yeah, the long you can play and play well for a while, but when teams get film on you and they compile the film and they figure out what your weak spots are and the parts of the field you don't throw the ball to, and they figure out your game, any quarterback can look bad. The best in the league, Patrick Mahomes had a down spell. You can't tell me Cooper Rush would have been perfect just going out there week after week. It's not real. It's not realistic. So the Cooper Rush hype and the idea that he should play over Dak was always nonsensical. It's ridiculous. So that's cool. Cooper is their backup, is a good backup. But Trey Lance can overcome him. Trey Lance can get out of his own way. If he can get out of his own way and work through the fundamental issues he has with throwing the football, that's the bottom line. We'll see what happens. But is Dak on a hot seat? That's the question, right? I say yes. And McCarthy definitely, he always looking to fire a coach. Hey, one thing they're gonna do over there, they're gonna fire a coach. So he he on the hot seat. He can't even get that seat. You gotta he gotta make sure that he doesn't get a permanent seat over there because it could just be over before it starts for him. If they get off to a rough start, if they lose game 1 to the Giants in MetLife, you're gonna start hearing all types of noise. I was like, Jerry not gonna go for that. And it's gonna happen. That's the best part. So we're gonna see it.
That is so beautiful. Like you're not even over here in my notes, but that's the perfect transition. Giant schedule, week 1. Dallas Cowboys. Is that a win or a loss?
This is what I'm doing. So I'm doing this without interruption for Miles, really Miles, right? Because this is my thing. So Miles last week got to go pop his stuff about the Jets, and they're winning 17 games, so that's fine.
Nobody said that.
That's what you said.
For the record, I said 12-5. For the record,
that's crazy. So
I'll lower your screen real quick.
Shut up.
Pause.
The Giants versus Cowboys week 1. Giants are going to win that game. The Giants are going to split this year with Dallas. So either they win that game or they win in Jerry World, but they'll win one. I think they're going to win this one.
At Cardinals week 2.
We're playing against Chris. Chris is going to be playing quarterback for them on week 2. We'll be beating them on week 2. Yes.
Week 3 at 49ers.
That's a tough one. I'm going to say that's a loss. All right, that's a tough ask.
That's
a tough one.
Talking about that's a tough one. Just say it how it is. It's a loss and move
For
on.
us, I really feel like the Giants are a top 10 team in the league. So I don't feel like we're inferior to many teams, bro. That's just how I feel. We can win any given Sunday. That's how I feel about this team. And I think I have good reason to feel that way. I could talk about that, but we'll talk about it after. It's fine. Go ahead.
Hey, speaking of, you definitely have some people hot on TikTok and IG that you got the Giants as a top 10 team in the power rankings, by the way. Just
you know how much I care about their opinions. Go ahead.
Week 4, Seattle.
I think we get our league back. I think we start the season 3-1 against them. We owe them one.
Week 5 at Dolphins.
I'm gonna say that's a loss because it's hard to cover Tyreek Hill. I'll say that's a loss.
Week 6 at Bills.
I'm gonna say that's a tough one, yo. I'm gonna say that's a win.
Okay.
Here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. Before Chris, because Chris looking at me like I'm crazy. The Giants got Bills ties. Daboll was there, understands all Josh Allen's weaknesses. I just feel like that's a game they can win. They have familiarity. Joe Shane has familiarity with the organization. That's a game the Giants are going to go in there and compete. And it means a lot to those guys. I think that they can win that game.
I'll accept.
If they lose, it wouldn't surprise anybody, but I think they could. That's a game they could shock the world and win. That's all I'm saying.
Right now, you got them at 4-2. Week 7 against the Washington Commanders.
Washington's a weird team, and they steal games from us. I'm gonna say that's a win, but we're probably gonna lose one to them. I'll just be honest.
And the game of the year, the Super Bowl in the tri-state area, week 8, New York Jets.
New York Jets. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. The Giants are gonna lose to the Commanders the week before. So I'm gonna change my pick. All right. Somehow they're gonna be a letdown. It's just gonna happen. They're gonna beat the Jets. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna bounce back and beat the Jets. That's exactly how it's gonna go.
Can I get a score prediction?
I'm gonna say like 34 to like 20 or something. We'll put up 30 on them. I'll hang 30 on him.
Week
I
9.
think Daniel Jones gonna be better than I think Daniel Jones is gonna be better than Aaron Rodgers this year too. By the way, I think by the time the season's over, he will have had a better season statistically than Aaron Rodgers. That's what I think is gonna happen when you combine rushing and throwing the football. That's what I think is gonna happen. And he's in a great scheme with the top 3 offensive coordinator in the NFL. There's no reason why There's no reason why that's a nonsensical idea. Daniel Jones is going to be a top 10 quarterback back by the time the season's over. I'm just letting y'all know. Bottom top 10, like bottom, 8 through 10, probably 10, but he's going to be in the conversation.
By the way, for those that are watching and listening, you only get to see the speaker view, but right now in the corner, Miles is checking his pulse to make sure everything is okay after Greg said that. So
I don't know why. Yeah, like he thinks Miles think they already won the Super Bowl. Miles think the Jets already won. So that's crazy to me. That's okay. Go ahead.
Week 9 at the Raiders.
That's a win. I don't feel my heart.
Week 10, you at Jerry World. We already said you're splitting, so that's a loss.
Yeah.
Week 11, y'all back. Y'all at Commanders. Y'all got to go visit Magic Johnson.
We get a win there. We got the law. We took the elbow for.
Week 12, y'all see McCorkle Jones.
Win. Looking forward to that.
Week 13, y'all got the bye. Week 14, Packers and Jordan Love.
Win. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be great. Jordan Love.
Week 15, you're playing at the Saints. Derek Carr or Jameis Winston, you might be seeing.
I'm gonna say that's a loss.
Week 16 at Eagles.
I'm gonna say that's a loss.
Week 17, you home again with the Rams.
Win. They're awful.
And you finish off the season facing the Eagles.
Win. They'll probably have nothing to play for, so I'll say win. Let's see if the Giants have something to play for at that time. What's the final record?
You have them at 11-6.
Yeah. That sounds very fair. I don't think that's unfair at all. 11-6 is a very fair. It's much more fair than Miles' prediction. Very fair. 11-6, yo, Chris, that's crazy. Giants can't go 11-6 with the improvements they've made. They've got a bunch of better wide receivers in the team. The defense, they've bolstered the defense. They got Isaiah Simmons. They got help defensively. I don't see why not.
A team full of wide receiver forwards.
No, we don't.
Come on now.
No, we don't.
I've been quiet for too long.
So
But I heard everything you said.
Darren Waller is wide receiver 4?
Hey,
He's not a wide receiver. He's a tight end.
No, you don't do that. He's a weapon. He's a weapon like Travis Kelce. He's one of the best tight ends in football. Don't even.
Is he like Travis Kelce?
Isaiah Hodgins. They have a group. They have a room of receivers that are all professionals. We got guys that are gonna step. Yo, listen. Isaiah Hodgins is underrated. I just want people to understand he's very underrated. Isaiah Hodgins is legitimately a very good football player. I'm just letting y'all know. Sleep if you want to. He's very good. You got Slayton, who's fast. You got Hyatt, who's super fast. They have a great scheme. Yo, football's about scheme. They have the second best offensive coordinator in football. They're going to keep guys open all day.
Who are the starting wide receivers?
It's probably going to be Hodgins, Slayton, and Paris Campbell to start out the games. That's what they're going to do. And Paris Campbell is good too. I like him. They got speed. They have packages. They have different things they can throw at you. Last year we were a playoff team and we had Kenny Galladay out there for like 90% snaps. Why should I believe the Giants are going to take a step back? Why? They only improved the room and they're going to be able to run more stuff. Now they have better, more competent wide receivers, and Daniel Jones is more confident in year 2. That's the thing about this. Daniel Jones is more confident in year 2. He's a better player this year than he was last year. So why should I believe that the Giants can't be good? The Giants are going to step. They're going to be a better offense. They're going to be a top 10 offense in the league. They're going to put up points, yo. I'm telling you. They got top 2 coordinator in football. Coordinators matter in football, yo. I have no reason to be concerned about the Giants. I think they're going to be a very good football team. 11 wins is very doable for this football team. I think to take a step forward as opposed to taking a step back. That's what I think. I think it's a very fair ask. Daniel Jones is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in football this year. And I don't know why it seems like it's not a crazy thing to say. I don't think it is. He's a top 3 rushing quarterback in football already. He's going to be his passing game about to take it up to another level this year. I don't see what the problem is. He's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's not, I've been talking about Daniel Jones for years, bro. That's the thing. And everyone laughs at me when I talk about Daniel Jones being good. He's a damn good player. Stop comparing him to Ryan Tannehill. He's not that. He's a damn good quarterback. He's going to be an elite quarterback in this league. If Dak could do it, why can't he? Oh, God. And he's more physically gifted than Dak is. Give me a break, yo. Kirk Cousins is at points is considered a top 10 quarterback in football, while Daniel Jones can be. Y'all gotta stop playing with me, yo, for real. I'm gonna stop doing this podcast thing.
Who considered him top 10 besides Chris?
There were lists from writers who have credentials who had Kirk Cousins on the top 10 list at various points. In fact, Michael Irvin was up there every Sunday last year talking about Kirk being an MVP candidate because the Vikings were like damn near undefeated or whatever. They had one loss at one point. Whatever. People were buying his hype, yo.
Kirk is a damn good quarterback.
And Daniel was going to be way better. Daniel is a better player than him, yo. Like right now, a better player. You just wait till he has a competent situation right now. We have a good, stable situation, a great offense, a great scheme. I have never felt more confident in this guy, yo. Franchise quarterback. You're going to prove it this year. Just wait. But think about what I said. If you can call Dak and Kirk top 10 quarterbacks at different points in your life, I don't know. If Alex Smith can win 11, Alex Smith won like 13 games with Aaron D. Reid off scheme alone. But Daniel Jones can't do it. Okay. Daniel Jones is more talent in his right pinky than Alex Smith had in his entire body. Stop playing, yo. Stop playing. Daniel Jones is a talented player, yo. He's a talented quarterback.
What would you do, Daniel Jones? You riding real high right now. What would you do to meet Daniel Jones?
What?
You'd hug him if you saw him?
Of course, it's my quarterback.
That's crazy, bro.
It's my quarterback.
I told Ariana the other day that Daniel Jones was a priority. We were going to a Giants game. She said it was so nice to spend time together. I said it's about Daniel Jones. It's not about us. It's about Daniel Jones. That's what I said. I said that. You see, she's talking about she ain't about talking about babe.
All right, we got the Giants schedule out the way. Award predictions for this year. We're gonna start off with MVP. I'll start it off. I got Lamar Jackson winning MVP again this year. I see a big year out of him with all those weapons: Zay Flowers, Odell, Rashad Bateman, Andrews. I see a big year for them.
I like that.
MVP.
I'm gonna say Joe Burrow, and I'm that because I think he's due. Respectfully, I really do think he's due. He's been right there neck and neck with Patrick Mahomes these past 2 seasons, and I feel like just because Patrick Mahomes is at that same level and has been consistently at that same level, it goes to Patrick Mahomes. But I think this is Joe Burrow's year.
That's an exciting pick. It's a good pick. He could easily win it. He's that good. You know how I feel about Joe Burrow. He's amazing. I always say Justin Herbert every year. He doesn't win. That seems to be the thing. I think last year I said Justin Herbert.
And say Richie James. Come on.
Richie James.
He wants to say Daniel Jones.
There's a part of 11-6 could win an MVP, bro. I'm just keeping a stack with you, but
bro, I'm about to slam my laptop closed. I'm about to slam this thing.
You know what's crazy? You didn't say a word when I was talking about Daniel Jones. I don't know what the whole of my argument was. I don't know what it was, but you sure as hell did not expose it.
Because I let you talk.
That's fine.
Like last week, you didn't let me talk, but
yeah,
I'm gonna let you talk this week.
Don't do that. Yeah, I did. You told me that Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback in the world. You told me that they're gonna go 17-0.
I said the greatest quarterback in the world. See, that's why I was on mute, because I was like, you know what? I don't need the propaganda spread all over the screen, because that's what he's doing.
That's what you said, bro. Okay. So MVP, yo. Let me just pick one, bro. This is a tough one. I'm gonna say Jalen Hurts, yo. I think Jalen Hurts can win MVP. I'll be honest. I think the Eagles are that good. I think what they're gonna require of him, is he gonna have to elevate this football team in that regular season? No, they're that great. Will he do it in the playoffs? Yes, they're gonna win. They're gonna win 14 games. They're gonna win 14 games, yo. They're gonna win like 14. So I think that when you put that into play and he's gonna have a lot of success throwing the ball in that scheme, yeah, I think that's very doable for them. I think he's gonna win MVP. That's my guy. That's not my guy. That's my pick. I hate that guy.
I mean, he would have won MVP last year if he didn't get hurt. That's all I'm saying. So it's not like I don't want you to scoff at him like he's not a good quarterback.
I ain't say anything like that. That's you. That's you, my brother.
Me. That was my pick. I was gonna say Jalen Hurts because that's who it's gonna be.
I was gonna say Aaron Rodgers, since he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
That would be too easy. That would start a whole nother discussion because then all of a sudden it's 10 minutes later arguing, oh, Rodgers and the Giants. I don't want to do that. It's 10:30. It's quarter to 11.
That's fair. That's fair. You're right. You're being cognizant of time. That's fair.
Offensive player of the year. I got Christian McCaffrey.
I'm gonna say Saquon. I think he got something to prove. You know, he got lowballed in the offseason, so he's coming back with a vengeance. He wants to get his bread.
I like
One
this.
way or another, he's gonna get it.
I was being diplomatic. I like it. Yo, Saquon, with the scheme they have and the speed they have on the outside now, you can't load the box anymore. I'm gonna say Saquon too. I like it. I'm gonna go with Saquon too. I'm a double down with Miles said. I do think Saquon can have a huge year. Yo, don't pick him in fantasy, bro. Don't do that. But let me pick him.
Chris, I've seen in Vegas, number one person for offensive player of the year is Jamar Chase. Are you going with Jamar?
I will now. I was gonna say his counterpart, Justin Jefferson, but look, you can't go wrong with choosing either one of those two players. You know, they're both extremely talented. So healthy Joe Burrow, healthy T. Higgins, healthy Tyler Boyd. Bengals once again have the best wide receiver trio in all of football. So I think this is going to be another big year for Jamar Chase. I don't see why it's not going to be.
DPOY. Y'all started off. Who y'all got for defensive player of the year?
Sauce. Easy.
Who?
Sauce. Your boy.
I appreciate you. I'd dap you up if we weren't so far away.
How about you? I shouldn't have even done that because he's a Cincy kid at heart, or he played at Cincy, so that's the real reason why. It ain't because it's your boy. So let me backtrack there, but I do think Sauce is truly 101.
Nick
I was gonna say Micah Parsons. I think with the addition of Gilmore back there, and they still got a lot of pass rushing people on the other side, Jamarcus Lawrence. I think him being on the edge, he could get 20. He could break the sack record, honestly.
That's a great pick.
I won't start on night one. Won't start on week one.
Well, he's not going against Andrew Thomas, so it could start week one.
Hey, I bet you he gets 2 sacks week one.
If he only gets 2 sacks on week one, the Giants will win. I don't think he's gonna get a lot of sacks week one, bro. That's just me.
He's gonna make Neal take a knee.
Neal's gonna be better. Neal's improved. Neal will be better. I'm not saying Neal's not gonna give up a sack. He could easily give up. That's a great line. But if he only gives up a sack, in that game, we're in great shape.
He gonna give up 2 sacks.
They can't cover Darren Waller, bro. They can't cover Darren Waller. The ball's gonna get out quick. Darren Waller's gonna be open very often. I'm just letting y'all know. It's gonna be a lot of traffic. They're gonna miss some of the receivers. Just don't even trip. Gilmore don't cover tight ends. Neither does your boy Trayvon Diggs, who's overrated. Just wait. Anyways, Nick Bosa. As long as he plays, he'll be there week one. They'll pay him. Nick Bosa will be defensive player of the year. I don't like to pick the Republican, but he'll probably make it happen.
I'm actually going
wearing red, so
I'm actually going to keep it in the Jets locker room like Chris, but I'm going Quentin Williams. I think he's going to have a huge year. Granted, it's only preseason and training camp and all that, but he got his bread now. He got something to prove. I wasn't overpaid. Let me show you how dominant I am with the rest of that Jets defense. Whew, I could see him getting busy this year. So I got Quentin Williams, offensive rookie of the year. I'm going Zay Flowers.
I like that.
I think because you got Odell, you got Rashad Bateman, you got J.K. Dobbins in the running game, you got Mark Andrews. Zay Flowers don't have to be a number one. So he's going to I think Zay Flowers probably has a top 3 rookie wide receiver season of all time.
Yeah. I like that.
Jahmyr Gibbs. That's what I think. Jahmyr Gibbs will be good. All great offensive line. He's running behind. I didn't want to say make a splash pick. If I do too many Giants picks on here, people get mad. So that's fine. Jahmyr Gibbs. We'll all settle for Jahmyr Gibbs. He'll be
man,
good.
I'm gonna go different. I was thinking Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think I'm gonna go JSN. If he gets that wrist right and he's ready week 1, Tyler Lockett's getting up there in age. DK Metcalf gets doubled a ton. I think this could be a big year for JSN if he's healthy.
I'm gonna say Addison with the Vikings. I mean, he's sliding right into that number 2 role. You know, Justin Jefferson's getting a lot of attention, and he's good. Like, this kid is really good, and I'm sure he's learning from Justin Jefferson and seeing what he can do. But I think just off the strength of what his skill set is, I could see him getting 1,200 right off the bat.
Defensive rookie of the year. I'm really sold on this Jets defense. I'm going Will McDonald. I'm really, 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 really sold on this Jets defense. I think this is going to be literally, I'm not going to exaggerate and say it's the 85 Bears defense and the steel curtain. This defense is going to be really, really good. And if the offense holds up their end of the bargain, so the defense isn't on the field more than they need to be, and they're fresh, this defense is going to be probably the best defense in the NFL next season.
That's the Hard Knocks, yo. The Hard Knocks getting to you. He drinking that Hard Knocks sauce. Oh, the Hard Knocks is the greatest piece of American history.
Yo, the film doesn't lie, though.
What film? He did not watch this film. Nigga went to Iowa State. Whatever you went to. Yo, Miles, stop, bro.
What did I say when we were doing the draft? I said Will McDonald. That was my pick back then. I said he was going to get 8 to 10 sacks right off the bat.
When he got drafted, after he got drafted by the Jets, right? After he got on Green. Okay, convenient. So what I'm gonna tell you, bro, is Hard Knocks
back.
Hard Knocks is the greatest piece of American propaganda ever. It's crazy, yo. You would think the Jets are gonna win the Super Bowl, bro. The dramatic music, the slow motion, Aaron Rodgers walking around, flipping his hair, and chanting his name.
That's how we know you chatting.
I'm watching it in real time. Aaron Rodgers literally went out of his way to tell Jihad Ward he didn't know him just because he knew cameras were on him, yo. That's crazy. Randall Cobb thought
you would have said that to him anyway without a mic. Because who is Jihad Ward?
Whatever, not the point. Randall Cobb thought it was 1975 and decleated somebody trying to take their head off.
Are we talking about Rookie of the Year or we're talking about Hard Knocks?
I'm just telling you, Hard Knocks I'm just telling you, Tone's a good man. And Tone's being taken advantage of by the Hard Knocks Corporation. That's what I'm saying. It's the greatest piece of American propaganda of all time. This is crazy. That's all I'm telling you. He's just buying into the hype. He saw McDonald go there and get his nose pierced. He bit it. This guy's crazy. He must be good. He's buying into it. It's fine. It's cool. He might be good. I don't know. Defensive Rookie of the Year. See, now I'm so upset. I don't even know where to go. Chris, you go.
That's where we're on defensive rookie of the year right now.
You see, even he doesn't know.
Yeah, this man said Antonio is getting taken advantage of.
He is, yo. That's what they do. All this hype. Ariana was saying it was so dramatic last night too. It's dramatic. Everything's dramatic. Aaron Rodgers get mad at practice. It's all this music playing and all this stuff. Because
so Greg, answer me this: is this your first year watching Hard Knocks?
It's like this every year, but it's worse with New York. New York.
Are you being for real?
Detroit. I watched Detroit last year. It wasn't the same. Ain't nobody care about no Detroit.
You had me watching 8 Mile last year because of Detroit. I was thinking this is it. They're back.
That's what I'm saying though. They also didn't make the playoffs, by the way. Just saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of hype. I see Chris on the Googles right now because it's a tough question.
No, it's not. I'm just trying to remember because the obvious answer that comes to my head is Jalen Carter from the Eagles, right?
Bro, please no.
The obvious answer, but I'm
right
that I see because the kid from Oregon, what's his name? Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
Patriots drafted. I remember just watching the draft, looking at his highlights. I love his size, and I think he could be the next, hopefully not Stephon Gilmore, but be that type of piece for them that he was, that just provided stability to their defense. He's going to be my sleeper pick. I'm going to go Gonzalez.
Kind of a pause moment, but go ahead, Greg and Miles.
Wow, wait, he do.
I like his size.
I like his size. Yeah, he's got a nice lower half. He said.
It's a
Uh,
people, bro.
he said he got a nice lower half. Yo,
Yeah.
um, I'm thinking, bro. I'm thinking real time. Miles folding over there.
He gonna say Joey Porter Steelers. All right, move on.
I wouldn't really agree with that though. I mean,
He ain't been looking good so far.
I heard he's all right. Maybe I'm hearing maybe he's. Only thing I heard that his preseason was pretty good. Didn't allow a whole lot of catches. I know Deontay Banks and the Giants didn't allow much to go past him at all. He did a great job for the Giants. So maybe Deontay Banks. Who knows? Maybe the Giants actually hit the nail on the head this year with the cornerback position, and he's going to be good. I'm gonna pick Deontay Banks. I don't want to pick Deontay Banks. I may very well be wrong, but I like him, and I think he's fast and he's strong. He's physical, can play in the run game. I like him. I think the Wink Martindale will get good returns from him.
And Miles, you going with Will McDonald, right?
Of course.
We're not even gonna do comeback player of the year. We already know what's going on with that. You almost die, come back, get a tackle, you win the award. So.
No.
Hey, stop it, bro.
Relax. True. He's doing too much. It's on a public forum.
It's public knowledge. We already know. Like, I would give it to Odell if he has a good season, but Odell could go out and get 2,000 yards receiving. You know they can give it to DeMar Hamlin. It don't matter. Like, this man got richer after that situation, but I'll stop. Just speaking facts. It's not false news. Coach of the year, we'll end off with that. I got Mike Tomlin winning it.
I think Mike Tomlin could win that award. I agree with you. I think the Steelers are going to be a lot better than people give it credit for. Chris laughed when I said the Steelers could win the division. That team, Kenny Pickett if he's as good as he looks, it could get real dicey out there. That's all I'm saying. The Steelers are going to be good.
I don't think I disagree with you when I said the Steelers can be good and that they'll have a winning season. And yes, I snickered at the fact that you said the Steelers can win the division because you have a sarcastic tone about you when you say shit that makes it seem like they could make this a cakewalk. All right. So that is why I snickered.
I didn't even say
Mike Tomlin, you got me talking like that's a snickered.
Bro, I didn't even say it like that, bro.
Yeah, bro. But no, Mike Tomlin's a great pick for coach of the year, especially if he gets them into the playoffs and holds his streak. They didn't make the playoffs last year though, right? That streak's broken. No, it's a winning record streak, right? Look, there's a handful of coaches that it could be. If I got to pick one, Zach Taylor.
Has anyone ever won it twice in a row?
Who won it last year?
My man, Brian Daboll.
You said your man?
My guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. Don't do that, bro. Miles, don't do that, yo. We had, like I said, thank you to my man or whatever. That little thing.
Hey, yo, Miles, who you got? Obviously, if y'all ain't checked, Vegas is picking Robert Saleh. Are you going with?
Oh God, yo, Hard Knocks is a drug, bro.
Facts. I gotta agree with that, bro.
Hard Knocks, Chris, you agreeing with me?
I'm agreeing with you.
Hard Knocks is a drug.
The only reason it is because of the fact because you're not basing that off of last year, right? You know what I mean?
His bald head ass in the meeting room talking about all these.
He was right in the mix until they lost every game in December. Right in the mix.
Look, wouldn't be a good show if they made the team look exactly how they're actually playing. Their job is to show the good and show some bad to make it not seem biased. But I do agree with Greg that a bit of it is propaganda to entice people to watch and to make it a more likable team. Look at the Detroit Lions last year. People fell in love with the Detroit Lions because of what they chose to show in the series.
Bro, what they do is they show you the bad stuff. They show you the bad practices, the bad moments, guys getting cut, guys crying, and then they show the triumph. Oh, well, look, Khalil Pimpleton was a Hard Knock star. They cut him off anyways. No, they build it up. They tear them down slowly a little bit, and then they build them up. It's triumphant. Oh, look, Aaron Rodgers having a bad practice, cursing people out. Oh, this is basic, 12 to 14 yards, basic. Da, da, da. And then all of a sudden, he goes out there, completion. Oh, there's our guy. He looks like the Lord himself out there throwing the ball. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Hard got away from what like I really enjoy, like as a football player, as an athlete, like enjoyed watching it because they showed you like the underdogs, right? Aaron Rodgers got there, man. They didn't even care about the underdogs this year. Like we barely saw any of that until like the last episode, like Tank, whatever his name was. Now,
bro, when do on Hard Knocks? When does a team have a star quarterback? All the teams suck on Hard Knocks. That's the point. That's the point. So what? They're not going to show Aaron Rodgers,
bro,
the biggest draw in the city right now. You don't want him to be seen.
I do, but
why would anyone watch Hard Knocks if they don't show Aaron Rodgers? That's the point.
Nah,
they chose the Jets strategically because they were gonna build up the hype machine. They knew it would.
They forced them to. They didn't want to do it.
It don't matter. They didn't want to do it. I'm telling you, they did it. Huh?
Who didn't want to do it, Miles?
The Jets didn't want it. The Jets didn't want it.
They just wanted that shit. They all showed up the first day in tank tops, wife beaters, walking out.
You have to embrace it at that point. What? The cameras are rolling.
That's
true. What are you talking about?
They gotta put that shit on.
A training camp,
bro. We have our own. We have One Jets Drive, which is a lot better than Hard Knocks.
If any team wanted to be on Hard Knocks, it was the Jets. They wanted that attention now that they got Aaron Rodgers.
They did not.
Hey, I heard they didn't, to be fair to Miles, but I'm just saying they're doing their job by building up the hype machine. That's all I'm saying. Robert Saleh is number 1 on Coach of the Year. Off what basis? On what basis?
That can't be right.
On the betting odds, he was number 1.
There you go.
It's based purely off of like the Hard Knocks shit.
Thank you.
I tried to bleep myself.
You tried not to. I thought I'm saying, yo, this is crazy. I'm just telling you, look, it's a draw.
But that's not my pick. I was gonna pick Dan Campbell from the Lions because I think they could win the division. They could make some noise in the NFC, and let's see what happens. Like they've got pieces on that team. They still got Jamison Williams, who's coming back after 6 games, and hopefully him and Amon St. Ra can make some noise for that team. And Jared Goff. He's cool. But I think, he's cool. But Dan Campbell's the real, star on that team. Like, he's the guy doing up downs with the team. He's the rah-rah guy. He's the guy you want to root for, the lumberjack. He's the guy you want.
He chops his own wood.
That up down shit was for show, bro. That was because they was on Hard Knocks, bro. That up down shit was for show. He not out there doing up downs in them every single day. Don't give him that.
I think he is because people said the same thing about Saleh running the stadium steps. He does that every single game.
He Rocky Balboa, bro.
Yeah, if you go to NFL.com, Coach of the Year, ranked number 1, Robert Saleh, plus 1,600.
There you go. Well, Miles, I'm surprised you didn't pick him. You on that crack harder than anybody else.
Because I think he could get knocked anyways, because it would be like the team is, stacked on defense. You got Aaron Rodgers, so as a coach, what do you have to actually do?
Number 2 is Mike Tomlin. Number 3 is Dan Campbell. So we in the same vicinity with our picks.
Boil that shit.
Hey man, so college football starts. Big slate of games coming up. Definitely the biggest 2 games we got is LSU, Florida State, and then UNC against South Carolina. LSU, Florida State. Who are y'all picking to win this game? How y'all see this one going?
I would love to know how LSU's revamped their roster. That's me being honest. Florida State should be on the way up. I feel like they have been mediocre for the last few years. I'm not gonna sit here and I can know every single recruit in the country that's coming in. I don't. All right, LSU is been a powerhouse, but last year was down near with that lefty they had at quarterback, Johnson. I didn't like him. I think he was who was playing quarterback last year. And if that is still their situation, they're running him out there unless he's made major improvements. I'm gonna take Florida State. I want to take Florida State in that game. All right, and I'm not gonna sit here, and again, I'm gonna preface this. If you guys are betting off of Bench Mob and you guys are watching this stuff and you guys are gonna bet off my picks, you're idiots. I don't watch. I don't watch this. I don't watch this closely enough, except for Caleb Williams and Drake May and the top guys, to be able to tell you. All right, unless the top guy on these rosters, I don't know about on either of these rosters. But I'm gonna pick Florida State because LSU's been down, and that quarterback just gave me a lot of pause and cause for concern.
I agree with that. I think I'm gonna go opposite though. I'm gonna go LSU just because it's Brian Kelly's second year at LSU, right? It wasn't rushed this time. He's had a full off season to work with the team, unlike last year where he just came in and had to join the SEC and get right to work. And that was the same situation with their quarterback Jaden Daniels when he transferred from Arizona. So the biggest issue with him last year, and I remember thinking kind of the same thing as you, Greg, was I wasn't impressed when watching him. He seemed timid at times, and a big issue for him was kind of pushing the ball down the field and making those deep throws. But he's going into his final year of college football at LSU, so I'm hoping he's corrected some of those things and feels a bit more confident in his skill set and what he can do. Just having that camaraderie with some of his weapons. So we'll see how he shows up, but the starting job is still his, and I think he's going to be probably better for it, just given the season that he had last year. I'm sure he took a lot of that into account just based on, all the things he was able to work on in the offseason. So hopefully he gets the dub.
I would say Florida State. I'm going to take Florida State. I think it's been a while since they've been really good like this, and they have a solid quarterback with Jordan Travis. He's coming back for his senior year, and he's elite. Like elite on the ground, elite passing. Like I think he's gonna have a big year this year. And first step is beating LSU. And like you said, Brian Kelly didn't really impress. I mean, he didn't impress me at Notre Dame, really. It was just like they don't really play a college football schedule up until last year when they joined the ACC. So I think they can get it done. This is just the start for Florida State, because it's about time they bring, Florida football back to prominence. And I mean, my Gators aren't going to do it, so somebody's got to.
UNC, number 21 ranked UNC against South Carolina. Spencer Rattler against Drake May. How do y'all see this game going? What type of stat line y'all think Drake May puts out game one?
This is going to be Drake May's coming out party, I think. I think that the NFL scouts have some questions about his ability to make the game simple. I think they think that he's such a gifted thrower. He tries to make throws harder than they are sometimes by drifting out of the pocket when there's no pressure and all that stuff. I've been hearing that noise. I think he's really talented. Something about them North Carolina quarterbacks, guys. Those guys from that state, the kids who come up in North Carolina, man, they got some talent. Daniel Jones being one of them. They got the kid over at Duke, who's also coming up as his predecessor, Riley Leonard, I think his name is. Talented kid. We're gonna start hearing more about him. I'm sure about the year. What do you say?
I want to see him play, by the way, Riley Leonard.
You said you're gonna go see him play?
Yeah, they're coming to UConn in October. And I bought tickets for the low too, like $40-something.
No invite. This nigga's whack. Anyways, like I was saying, bro, like I think that this Drake May's gonna have a big game, man. He's gonna have a coming out party in this game. I think he'll and I don't want to discount Rattler, but I guess we can get there in a minute. I think he's gonna go for 4 or 5 touchdowns in this game. Throw for 300 yards. I think he's gonna have a really big game. I think that they understand what's on the line for this kid. He's playing for draft positioning, and you're playing for number 2 because Caleb Williams is number 1. You already know what that is. We ain't gotta speak on that, even though we probably should. But he's gonna be really good in this game. I have no doubt about it. I think he's gonna quiet a lot of the doubters.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that's totally fair. He's obviously the better quarterback in this matchup. When looking at Rattler and thinking about his situation at South Carolina and just everything that he's been through with Oklahoma too, right? He's somebody that has a ton to prove this year. He didn't have the best of years last year after losing the job to Caleb Williams and having to transfer to South Carolina. At one point during the season last year, I just remember that and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he got benched during a game during some point last year, right, Miles?
Rattler did?
Yeah, Rattler did. But his issue last year, we talked about it earlier in the show, is he just throws too many interceptions and he doesn't protect the football. And as a quarterback, you can't have that, right? So this is going to be a big year for him, especially if he has NFL aspirations. He's already an undersized quarterback, so he needs to show that he has a high IQ and can really kind of take this team to the next level, just to get his name in deeper conversations as it relates to being a quarterback in the NFL. He's going to be someone that will go in the late rounds if he does get drafted.
If you play sports you coach sports and you watch that quarterback show they drop about the high school kids and you saw Spencer Rattler in that show, you know exactly why he's struggling right now. That's all I'm gonna say. He was acting like he was an NFL quarterback back when he was in high school. And it catches up to you over time because you have no humility. You don't understand that you don't have all the answers and that the toughest battles are in front of you. Like there are guys who are better than you. He acted like he was the best. Confidence is a good thing, but he was totally overconfident and disrespectful to his teammates on camera. He was off-putting in that show. So I'm not surprised he struggled. I'm just not. And it's not a karma thing. It's a thing where you have to understand that the work never stops just because you have some success and notoriety as a young player. That does not matter, yo. That you start from ground zero. No one cares about you when you get to college. And he just did not walk in with that attitude, and he paid for it. Oklahoma, Caleb Williams took the job from him. And then here he goes to South Carolina, and he still can't hang on to the job consistently. And he hasn't been that good. It's just been he has all the talent in the world, by the way. So it's just the thing about who he is and the personality thing and what makes him tick. He's overconfident and it's bite him in the butt.
That's a great point too. And remember, Justin Fields was on that same show too, right? So like you look at how the way they both carried themselves, it's night and day.
It's night and day, but Justin, I got some questions about Justin Fields. He threw the ball like Jaquan, so I got some questions for him too. We'll see how good.
What's that mean?
You know exactly what it means. Got a hitch in his throw and he wants to run. He wants to take off and run the ball. And he wants to spin move, juke. He want to do everything but throw the ball accurately from the pocket. I just got questions about him. I'm sorry, yo. The preseason did not sell me on Justin Fields. That's all I'm gonna say. They got the Daquan playbook over with the Bears, yo, and unfortunately it doesn't work. I wish it did. It doesn't. It doesn't. Miles, am I wrong? Miles gonna say I'm crazy. I'm not wrong, yo. Anyways, it's not about Justin Fields.
No, it's not. You're about to get me off on a tangent about Justin Fields, but for this game, I'm taking UNC. I think Drake May, once it gets closer to the end of the season, people might start flip-flopping who's the best quarterback in the draft going forward, him or Caleb Williams. Because I think legitimately Drake May could be the best quarterback in college football. That's what I'm saying, because he's the prototype. 6'4", 230. He's mobile. He can make every throw. He just plays at UNC. Like if he played at some place like Georgia or LSU, they'd be saying he's the next Joe Burrow or something like that. So we'll see. But I think they're gonna walk away with this game. Like it's not gonna be close.
Dog walk.
Speaking of dog walk. Speaking of, you mentioned Caleb Williams. You mentioned Drake May possibly might be the best quarterback. There's been a discussion. Desmond Howard brought it up on ESPN. The last person and the only person to win back-to-back Heisman trophies, and forget back-to-back, just two in general, was only Archie Griffin back in 1975. Does Caleb Williams get two?
Yes.
I say no.
Oh, wow. You trying to be controversial, bro.
I'm not. I say they'll lose a game where he doesn't play particularly well, and that's all it takes. It takes one game in college football for you to, get knocked down a notch. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just think that this guy is incredible. When you snap a ball and the ball go between your legs and you run backwards, you pick it up. There's a defender in your lap. You throw it off your back foot. It's 90 yards in the air. It hits a guy dead in his chest, and he runs into the end zone. I'm sorry.
Well, he's really getting tested this week against Nevada.
And San Jose State. That was a great play by him, but
he's doing that to Georgia, bro. He's doing that against Georgia.
Let's see if they make the playoff this year.
Would not be that.
You're probably right. He is that good though, bro. Like I'm in. I bought all my stock. This kid's gonna come in and he's gonna compete with Patrick Mahomes for the top quarterback and Joe Burrow for the top quarterback position, like that QB1 slot in the NFL. We're gonna be talking about him.
Daniel Jones or Caleb Williams.
Come on, man. Caleb Williams, what are you talking about? Don't be stupid.
That's crazy to go all in on somebody that has never played a college game. I mean, an NFL game. That is wild to me.
Yo, look at the way he throw the ball. Look at the velocity. Sometimes the eye test, you just gotta trust your eyes, yo. Trust what you see. You see it. You see
it with Kyler Murray too. A lot of it.
What?
Just about his talent, how good he's gonna be.
He is. No, he is that talented. How Murray's coaches are not about talent. It is off the field stuff. Okay, people don't like him. He plays too much Call of Duty. He don't commit himself to the sport, to his craft. That is why we are in a situation where his team is tanking for another quarterback. That should never happen. It's his fault, though. People have enabled him. He's spoiled. He's got Napoleon complex. Something about short dudes, yo. Something about short dudes, yo. Like, for real, they always want to act up. the dude 4'5". You want to get in people's face. You want to be a prima donna. DeAndre Hopkins trying to talk to him on the sideline. He want to walk away and give me a break. It's fair. It was never about talent. And by the way, Caleb Williams is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen in my life. That's all I'm gonna tell you. The way he rips the ball with velocity in the tight windows, he makes every single throw imaginable, yo. And it's not like USC's a powerhouse. They're just not. So he's doing this with the offensive line that's all right, iffy. That dude is special, yo. That dude is special. I'm telling you, he'll come in the league. He's gonna be a top 3 quarterback, not on year 1, but by year 2, yes. You thought that Trevor Lawrence was super talented. Just wait till you see this guy. Just wait. I don't know if people have been watching him or been introduced yet. I don't know, but just watch him. Yo, he throw the ball like 90 miles an hour. It's crazy.
He'll be mad as hell when he turned into Mariota.
Yeah, okay. So I'm the only one who thinks that he's special here, that he's generational.
Oh, you're not. But he hasn't played in an NFL game yet.
What am I saying? That's crazy. I didn't say he's the best quarterback in the NFL. I just said he's the number 1 pick. He's the best quarterback prospect
you've ever seen in your life.
Prospect? Yes. Prospect?
You ain't say prospect. You said the best quarterback you've ever seen in your life. That's where
prospect. Don't do that. Yo, edit that out, bro. Best quarterback prospect. That's what I said. Yo, best quarterback prospect. Okay, that's what he is. The best quarterback I've ever seen in my life. Hey, the best quarterback I've ever seen in my life, regardless of level, is Patrick Mahomes. Not Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. I'll make that very clear. But this is the best quarterback prospect I've ever seen. Better than Andrew Luck, better than Vince Young, better than you name him. You name Roderick Griffin III. You want to continue? Lamar? That's what I'm saying. Okay. So better than Daniel Jones, all of it. So that's what I'm trying to say.
If you don't stay ready.
We ended off the show with Kappa Facts, Noah Lyles, and came out today. Sha'Carri Richardson doubled down with Noah Lyles and saying that NBA champions should not be called world champions. Kappa Facts.
It's the weirdest,
facts.
It's the weirdest argument that's been started. Like, who cares? We get it. You run against people across the world, but I mean, the NBA champions have been called world champs for the longest. So who cares? It's the dumbest argument. And he was so banging the table about it. Like, he was so aggressive about it. It'd be different if he wasn't so aggressive about it. But
you know why though? And I just read this, so I'm not going to take credit for it. But the director of creative strategy at #Sports just had a post earlier today that I just saw when we were on the show that I was reading a few minutes ago. It was a marketing strategy from his point of view. Noah Lyles, a lot of people don't know that he has a docuseries out around him in his training, and he wanted to bring attention to the sport of track and field because it's one of the, it's one of those sports where it has the highest numbers in terms of athletes that participated at the high school level, right? But those numbers drop once people get into college. So he believes it was a marketing strategy for people to be like, who the hell is this guy, Noah Lyles, right? To come out with such an aggressive statement. You're looking him up. Then you see that, there's a docuseries about him and his training and, how he's a track and field, athlete. So that's all he thinks it was, is to get people talking about his name, not because he actually believes it. But it is interesting.
Guess what, Noah? I'm not watching your whack documentary. I'm not watching it. Okay, it didn't work. You just came off as corny. To me, it was so corny, bro. And it was the delivery. I mean, Austin Rivers' comment really hit the nail on the head. The delivery bothered me, yo. He's like, you know what hurts me? Goofy ass. Like, goofy. You know what hurts me? You know what bothers me? Yo, give me a break. Yo, the NBA is the best league in the world. Okay. I just saw the United States punch Jordan at 4:40 in the morning by 50 points. So you telling me what would Denver have done to them? What would the Orlando Magic have done to that team? Give me the worst teams in the league are going to go on a world tour and smash your favorite worldwide team wherever you're playing at. So you got to go to Yugoslavia and beat somebody to be considered a world champion. That's a joke. You got to go to Russia and beat somebody to be the China League. No, the China League. We sent Stephon Marbury washed behind over there. You got 50 points a game. What are we talking about? Like, so you have to go over there, and that constitutes you being a world champion. I know that Popovich said it too. I get that. I respect Popovich. He's wrong. Everyone can be wrong. I'm wrong a lot of times too. It's okay, Greg. We both have that in common. I'm just saying that this is crazy. The NBA is the pinnacle of basketball. The best players in the world strive for their entire lives to go to the NBA. You don't hear guys saying, "Oh, I'm trying to get to the Russian B League," or "I'm trying to go play in Australia with the New Zealand Breakers." No one's trying, or whatever. You don't hear no one talking about that. It's to get to the NBA. It's the end goal when you play basketball. That's what you strive for. Antonio played basketball in high school. Antonio played basketball growing up. He didn't want to go to Northern League, but the NBA. That was the goal at one point in his life. That's what he strived for. Period. So that's a ridiculous premise. If you win in the NBA, you are the best team in the world by default. You would beat anybody else because those are the best 450 players in the world, yo. In the world. Dante DiVincenzo would go to freaking Jordan and be their best player. Rondé Hollis Jefferson look like Kobe playing against these teams, yo. Rondé Hollis Jefferson look like Kobe playing against these teams. Like, what are we talking about? Dennis Schroeder leaves the NBA as a middling rotation player and goes to Germany and plays for Germany and averages like 40 points a game, yo. He's the best point guard in the Western Hemisphere of the world. So now there's no allows. Yo, come on, bro, don't do that. So many examples, by the way. Patty Mills doesn't play. Patty Mills gets DMPs for the Nets. Patty Mills go to Australia. He's the best three-point shooter in the damn country. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. But no allows us talking about this like we supposed to like be like, yeah. If for Captain Literal Man, it's yes. People who don't understand how hard it is to play basketball at the highest level, it is yes. It is hard to play basketball at the D3 level in the United States, guys. There are D3 teams that could beat some of these national teams in other places. There are D3 teams in this country that could. There are guys. It's that hard. I'm taking it from someone who's been around the basketball landscape and really is in it. It's hard, Joe. No allow sounds crazy.
Hey, Rutgers Newark could be one of those teams that
Chill out. Do not get messy like that. Chill out.
Believe that, bro. That's great.
Yo, with this one came from not the Chuck D on Instagram, and Greg might like this one. If Plaxico Burress doesn't shoot himself, the Giants are back. Moss, chill out. The Giants are back-to-back champs. Cap or facts?
That's not funny. Are you crazy?
It's not funny, but I remember when that happened.
He's an idiot.
Yes. Shoot yourself in the leg, Plaxico. Hey.
Bro, hot as hell, bro. Yo, yes. The Giants would have been back in the Super Bowl. I wholeheartedly agree. I think that year, the following year, they were 12-4, and they lost in the divisional round. It was like a big letdown. I think that if they had Plaxico, they'd gone back to the Super Bowl. It was a big part of what they did. Eli was his favorite target, and when he shot himself, he pissed our dreams away. So that was a big deal. That was a big deal for the Giants. A big loss. Yeah, that's not funny, yo.
When he shot himself.
No, when he did that, yo, he definitely hurt us, yo. I think we would have been back in the Super Bowl. I agree with Chuck D. Yeah, I agree, Chuck D.
Hey, you already know the vibes. When you got your gun, you got to make sure the safety is on. Because if you have the safety on, you stay ready, so you don't got to get ready.
Just don't have a gun. Just don't have a gun.
Have the safety on, you can stay ready. You can stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready. Bench Mob, we out. Peace.